The onset of the festive season has boosted consumer confidence. Most high-frequency indicators have demonstrated stronger performance during the first half of the current financial year. Consumer confidence also reached a 4-year high, indicating a positive sentiment and growth momentum in urban areas. But rural India is still grappling with challenges of poor monsoon, lower income and higher inflation. Roma Dikshit of One Lattice expects a modest surge in rural sales during the festival season, but that is not going to sustain because of poor harvest and declining household income.
There can be some marginal increase that we will see in rural India sales, and that could be primarily driven due to Diwali being a very auspicious time to buy goods. But we feel that it is unlikely to sustain in longer run because no other macro factor is suggesting that. There has been poor monsoon which impacted the Kharif harvest, output is lower, income is lower, and we will see that impact in their spending too. Rural households are more cautious on their spending now given the poor harvest and lower incomes.
Latest consumer confidence survey of the RBI indicates households remain optimistic on future earnings even though their current earnings remained same over the months. This was driven by prospects for employment, income and spending in urban areas. The quarterly urban unemployment rate declined from 7.6% in April-June 2022 to 6.6% in April-June 2023. People are also less pessimistic on prevailing price levels and inflation when compared to a year ago. Among the indicators, sales of passenger vehicles, consumption of steel and petroleum products, passengers handled at airports and railway freight traffic have all shown an upturn in the first half of the current fiscal. However, the indicators capturing rural demand such as tractor and two-wheeler sales has yet to demonstrate consistent improvement in the current year. Q3 FMCG growth at 7.2% reflects a slight slowdown from the stronger Q2 FY23 numbers at 8.5%. This is primarily due to urban growth stabilizing at 8% after a rapid 12% surge. Meanwhile, rural growth continues at a steady 6.2%.
According to RBI's consumer confidence survey, we saw that rural consumers are less optimistic about the current economic condition than the urban consumers. This could be primarily due to higher income, inflation, drier monsoon that has impacted the overall spending of rural India. This was reflected in the automobile sales as well, which is primarily tractor and two-wheelers. The tractor sales fell by 10% this September compared to last year, and it has been flat mostly this year. If we see other indicator, which is FMCG consumption, we have also seen marginal growth in rural area. However, according to top FMCG companies, the growth is still not at par what we saw before COVID. So overall, we feel that there will be some jump in the sales, but it won't be sustainable for longer run.
Because of the K-shaped recovery, there is considerable stress in the rural consumption basket. While rural sales are going to be muted this Diwali compared to last year, Amit Goyal of Pace Group believes it is not going to be as bad as it was anticipated a few months ago.
Northeast and the eastern part of the country, that is where the maximum stress is, because they are not gaining from the food inflation because they grow mostly grains, and that is where the prices have not gone up, and that is where, and because their production has suffered because of bad monsoon, so that part of the country is not going to do well. But I think the central part, the western part of the country, and even to some extent the southern part of the country is going to do better. And another thing which I would want to add here is that next year everybody is expecting more largesse from the central government ahead of the elections. So my sense is that between now and the next few months, the rural demand is also going to pick up in anticipation of these doleouts from the central government ahead of the elections.
Urban India is set to experience a bright Diwali, where the rise in inflation has been largely offset by rise in asset prices, a flourishing real estate, uptrend in stock market, and the overall boom in urban economy. But the scenario is distinct in certain rural areas that have been grappling with a poor monsoon and persistent high inflation. Many are hopeful that the upcoming general election will bring some relief. post Diwali.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
She's working her way to the corner office. Business Standard.